Hello, Super Bridges friends and family. Today I'm going to be sharing a quick little segment with you guys. I know we've been focusing a lot on space and friendship. So today I'm going to share with you guys some information about two very close planets. I guess some could call them friends. Maybe you guys can take a guess at what those two planets are. Any clue? Well, I'll be letting you know that it's actually Earth and Mars. So obviously I can't show you guys the planet itself because for one, Earth, we're on it, so I guess technically I could show it to you guys, but if for just the purpose of being practical, I'm gonna go ahead and use these balls as a diagram just to kind of show you guys a little bit of a comparison. So on this side here I have this ball. It is going to represent Earth. It has blue on it because Earth actually has about 70% of its surface covered in liquid water. Obviously this isn't 70%, but you guys can see here this would be a representation of water, and the orange would be land. So we are land creatures. Earth is the only known planet to have a wide variety of species, far more complex than single-celled organisms. So it's not just little germs floating around. We have us humans, dogs, cats, frogs, all sorts of species. Even I got a little insect over here flying around. So we have all sorts of complex species. So we're very lucky in that sense. So we're very lucky that our planet has the ability to sustain life. So we have a lot of elements which are very important to be able to support this. We have hydrogen, oxygen, carbon, all building blocks of life, and we're able to sustain it here on this planet, which has the perfect weather actually for us to stay warm most of the time. As you guys can see, Mars over here is in reality just barely over half the size of Earth. So you guys can see here, Mars would be slightly smaller than if Earth was split in half. It's kind of difficult to explain because they're shaped, planets are shaped in spheres. So despite being smaller than Earth, Mars actually has a day that is longer than Earth. So an Earth's day, I know we like to say it's 24 hours, but a day on Earth is actually 23 hours and 56 minutes. On the other hand, we have Mars, which is smaller, but it rotates slower than Earth. So say the sun was on this side, it's 7 a.m. when it's facing here. So when it rotates, it would take Mars 24 hours and 37 minutes to make a full rotation. So a day on Mars is actually longer than on Earth. Now I know this representation of Mars is not red, but we call Mars the big red planet. And reason that why we call Mars the big red planet is because when it's in the sky, we're actually lucky to be able to kind of see a distinction between a star and Mars, because when light from the sun bounces off of the surface of Mars and it bounces back in the night sky, Mars actually looks like almost like a twinkling red star. So we see it as red, but upon closer inspection, we've actually discovered that the reason that Mars reflects a red hue is because it contains a lot of iron oxide, which is the same stuff that we see here on Earth when water gets on metal and it kind of erodes away at the metal and it creates rust. So iron oxide is rust, and it's what gives Mars its red color. Surprisingly, or I guess it's something we know, is that you need water and metal to create rust. For a long time we thought Mars was a very dry planet, had no water, but in 2018 we've been able to send some cool robots and rovers up to Mars, and it was actually discovered that in one of the poles, I believe it was the south pole of Mars, there was liquid water discovered beneath the glacier. So we thought for a long time, we're like, hey, Earth, we're the only ones with water. Turns out that Mars actually has water to this day. So it's no surprise that maybe some of that water dried up on the surface, mixed in with the elements on Mars, and now we got this big red, like rusty planet. So that's something very awesome. So again, these are two close friends. We got our home, Earth, and our very close neighbor, our friend, Mars. So these are the representation of our planets. Another quick fact about Mars. I know I mentioned weather. We got some amazing weather here today. We got green trees, sunny skies, and it's warm. So I'm able to wear a t-shirt. Out on Mars, the average day is actually negative 80 degrees Fahrenheit. That is very cold. You need 32 degrees to make ice. So imagine going 32 degrees, bringing that all the way down to zero somehow, and then going below zero 80 more degrees. So that is extreme cold. If we ever wanted to visit Mars, we definitely have to wear some protective layers, and obviously the atmosphere there is very different. There is a very thin atmosphere, which is why there is such a low temperature. I know Roberto kind of explained a little bit about the greenhouse effect, and when you go into a car, you feel that warmth. Well, because Mars has a very thin atmosphere, there is no blanket, no greenhouse effect. So any light that comes in from the sun, it doesn't get blanketed in by the atmosphere, so it doesn't stay, it doesn't hold the heat. So when that heat comes from the sun, it literally just kind of bounces and disperses off the surface, so it doesn't hold that. Earth, on the other hand, imagine these little threads as sort of an atmosphere. So we have the surface down here, and this is kind of the air above us. This is the sky and parts of the atmosphere, and this is outer space. So we have this blanket of, or this thread of this blanket of threads. It's kind of like our atmosphere. So as you can see, it's spread all throughout the Earth's surface. We have a sky and an atmosphere throughout the whole planet. So what happens is when the sun brings in sunlight and it hits Earth's surface, it hits, but when it hits, it gets trapped within what is the atmosphere. So it maintains that warmth. So we are very lucky in that sense, because unlike Mars, where it has a very thin atmosphere, that sunlight doesn't get held in that blanket. So as soon as that sun hits, it just kind of disperses. But there are other planets and with far less of an atmosphere, and it gets even colder, especially with the distance from the sun. But go Earth, go Mars. Let's enjoy what we have here. This is our home, and I'm gonna go ahead and close that out. I hope you guys enjoyed these cool little facts about Earth and Mars. Leave some comments. Follow us up for more content. We look forward to engaging with you guys and seeing you guys out there. Who knows, we might be getting in touch with you guys, and you guys will be able to participate in some of our videos. So thank you so much. Take care, and we'll see you out there.